Well, Tyler, thank you for coming on the red carpet round table.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for inviting me.
You're very welcome. I did some little research about you, but I'm gonna let you introduce yourself and we'll go from there.
Okay, all right. I guess all to tell you a little bit about myself. I'm an actor based in Los Angeles. I studied in New York at the Lee Strasberg Theater and Film Institute, then made my way out to LA. Originally, I'm from Canada, so I've been in the States for quite a while now, since my teens. But yeah, I'm an actor in Los Angeles and I own a small production company where I do actor services, I do editing, videography, photography, all that fun stuff.
Wow. And what was your decision to leave Canada to go to New York and then leave New York to go to Los
Well, New York is where a lot of the greats have studied, and that's kind of a city that I wanted to be a part of and explore. And then I did make the decision to go to LA because I did also want to experience living in LA and getting that side of the industry. And I felt like I had had a couple of years in New York where I had established some contacts and I felt like I made a little bit of a base for myself that I could go to LA and still retain some of my contacts in New York. So I wanted to experience both while I was young, still in my 20s, and once I moved to LA, I kind of decided to stay here.
Wow, absolutely amazing that the journeys of everything you've gone through to go from Canada to New York to LA. Um, and what is the big difference in the film industry between the United States and Canada?
Well, to be honest, I didn't really get much of an experience of the film industry in Canada. I moved pretty soon after graduating high school. So I auditioned a couple times and I did have a Canadian agent while in the States. So I did get a little bit of that experience, but I am mostly based in the States. I guess I mean, it is a smaller market in Canada, so you there are a lot of faces that you recognize in that industry, but it really is just as competitive. So even though it is a smaller market, I still feel there's a decent amount of really talented people. Other than that, maybe a big thing of the market in Canada is the bilingual aspect of it. There are French is a second language in Canada, so that maybe is a little bit different than what you would expect in the States.
Wow, that's very interesting. I knew Canada has French and they have films in French and English, and Hallmark likes to go to Canada a lot for their mo winter movies, so in TV shows, which is
Yeah,
absolutely
that's absolutely
amazing.
right. Yeah, a lot of TV shows will shoot in Canada.
Hmm.
And I like a lot of American TV shows will shoot in Canada.
Yes, they
So
absolutely would.
they'll cast a lot of the local hires out of Canada and a lot of the smaller roles. But if it's an American production, they'll usually cast those series regulars or those leading actors out of the States. So that's a big thing too, between the difference between Canada and the States is just the politics of how many they have to hire locally if they want to get tax incentives or something
Right.
like that.
Very interesting. Thank you for sharing that. That's something I did not know. I mean, I did, but I also did not know at the same time. So, um, and you're absolutely right because Canada is beautiful. They show a lot of beautiful scenes in their movies and TV shows, and it's so intriguing how they find those spots and I know it's really cold there when they do their films there. So, in
Yeah,
America.
yeah, absolutely. And I mean, like, Toronto, will sub for New York, and Vancouver will kind of be a substitute for Los Angeles. Climate wise, it is somewhat similar, so
Yeah.
they can kind of
Or
make it
Victoria,
seem.
Canada.
Or what,
Is
Canada?
it Victoria?
Yeah, yeah, Victoria is
I
in
love it.
British
I've
Columbia.
been there. I've been there once. Very beautiful.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever actually been to Victoria. The closest I would have been is Vancouver, kind
Okay.
of areas of British Columbia. But I mean, Vancouver is very beautiful. It's very temperate. It does get cold, but they don't get as much snow as the East Coast. So that is why it's kind of like your or Canada's version of Los Angeles or Canada's version of Seattle. It has that very West Coast, Northwest vibe.
Yeah, I love Victoria, Canada. Um, Now in 2014, you won the best screenwriter.
Yeah, that was part of the Asian American Film Lab 72-hour film shootout. So that was really cool. I really loved that competition. It was a great competition to give up and coming Asian filmmakers kind of opportunities. And the I was so honored to win best writer in that year. That year we did a film noir kind of parody, and the competition encourages filmmakers to and challenges filmmakers to make a short film in
Hmm.
72 hours. So that's always a huge challenge, but I always love I used to participate in that competition every year for maybe 10 years or so before I got involved on the administrative side of it, just because I loved it so much. I kind of wanted to pay it forward.
Wow. I just want to bring that up. Congratulate you as well. And
Thank you.
it's amazing. I want to dig into any upcoming projects that you're allowed to talk about.
Yes. I just shot a short film in New York called Desperately Seeking Commitment. It was written and directed by Fenice Avery, a very talented filmmaker.
Hmm.
Her
Hmm.
previous short film, Living with Grandma, is making the film festival circuit right now, and it's getting all sorts of rewards or awards. When when we were shooting on set, she got a message on her phone saying that she won. I think it was Best Director or something in Germany. So she won a really big festival out there while we were shooting her next film. So I'm super excited about it. I got to go back to New York, which is obviously, I spent a couple of years there. So I got to meet up with old friends, but also, focus on the work. But it was nice to go back to the city, not just to visit, but to be involved in the industry that, I moved to the States for. So that'll be coming out in a couple of months. We'll see. It'll definitely do the festival circuit, but I was very proud of that film because there were a lot of really great crew involved in the project. Um, uh, she's worked on various TV shows and movies in New York, so she has a great kind of uh, a web of people to invite onto her projects and to collaborate with. So I know that a lot of the crew members have worked on big shows that we're shooting in New York, like Only Murders in the Building and The Gilded Age. So working with people who have experience on those kinds of
Hmm.
sets, really, there's a professionalism, but you feel really safe working with those people that you don't have to worry about what they're doing. You can really just focus on what you're doing. And what I was doing there was taking on this role. And the role is that I was being uh, stalked by a girl who's trying to facilitate a serendipitous meeting between us. So it's a little bit rom-com, a little bit of magic realism to it. Um, but all in all, it's I think about like 15 to 20 minutes of a really cool conceptual project.
Wow. And that's amazing. Only Murders in the Building, that's a great show. All the cast members in that, I love watching that. It's very, I love those actors and Only in the Murder in the Building. Um, Great cast and crew, and and it's that talks about the life of New York.
Mhm.
I mean, not the murders you mean, but the life of New York, what it's like living out there, and the busy life of New York, and you get to see all that action life in New York, and I think a lot of people need to visit New York to understand and experience it.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of great films and movies that take place in New York, but I do miss it. I loved it, but I think I got tired of the
Cold
really
weather.
cold winters and the really hot summers. Like I'm from Canada, but I could only take so much. So
So
now that
I
I'm in LA, it's a lot more
mm,
temperate.
so I
I don't
heard
know
the
if I can.
weather. I'm sorry, pardon me. I heard the weather is different between Canada and New York. Is that correct?
I mean, I guess, Canada's very big, so the weather can be different depending on where you are in Canada. But New York gets a lot of snow in the winter as well. So, and I grew up in Ottawa. So Ottawa is kind of, I guess, a little more southern as far as Canada goes. The temperatures between Ottawa and New York aren't that different because uh, they're pretty close border wise. Like I've driven up from New York to Ottawa,
Hmm.
and you just cross the border from New York State into Ontario. So they are really, really close to each other. They share the Great Lakes. Um, but I feel like the weather, it's very cold in Canada, but in New York, you walk everywhere. Whereas, like, depending where you are in Canada, you usually have a car. Um, so in New York, having to walk everywhere, you really have to be exposed to to the elements, which got tiresome after a while. But that being said, they have a great public transportation system, so it was always easy to get around in New York.
Right, that's true about New York. And when it rains a lot, it rains a lot in New York.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, you rarely get any rain out in LA. This week it's been raining, but really it's mostly drought.
Right, that's true, 100%. A lot of people may be wondering, what's your why? Why are you doing all this?
It's a great question. Um, I think I'm just passionate about storytelling. Whether it be, and it doesn't have to be writing, which is kind of the what people might think storytelling is, but it's the act of telling a story, which is includes acting and it includes filmmaking, and uh, I've just been really passionate about every single aspect of that kind of storytelling. I wrote and produced a few plays while I lived in New York, so I've always kind of been interested in how these projects get made, and not just auditioning and waiting for those opportunities,
Hmm.
but
Hmm.
creating those opportunities myself. So that's kind of what drives me is telling is telling a story that I feel is meaningful to me and trying to get people to feel the same way that I might be feeling, to try to find, I guess, a connection between yourself and the audience. And when you're successful, it's the greatest feeling because you're properly conveying to people a certain emotion and they're resonating with it. And yeah, there's nothing really more satisfying than that feeling.
Right, 100%. It's passion, storytelling, and we want to tell stories. We want to tell people stories, and that's what storytelling is, and we're telling people's true story or not true story. But if we didn't have any entertainment, then I I'll be honest, the life would be pretty boring because we didn't have anything around. So you're absolutely right, storytelling and be consistent of making project to let people know what we do and what kind of stories we make.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I totally agree.
Right. Now, you said, yeah, you already mentioned your upcoming project, but you have your own production team. And what's your goal of your production team?
Well, we've made a couple short films in the past, and we also collaborate with a lot of people and help kind of bring their projects to life. I do a lot of editing as well, and I've been working on a couple projects that are more, I guess, non nonfiction, more like event or documentary or something like that. For myself, what I have coming up, I'm constantly working on scripts. I have I It started as a movie, but now we're kind of shifting it into what could be a vertical series now that vertical series are becoming a little bit more popular. So we're trying to thinking about getting into that um, genre. Uh, and I have another script for a series, the first season of a series that's based on uh on wrestling. It's a comedy, half-hour comedy about wrestling. So, I've pitched that around a bit and have gotten positive kind of feedback about it. So ultimately, you just have all these projects in your back pocket, and they're something you can pull on if somebody is looking for something but not exactly sure what they want. You have these projects that are just kind of on the back burner that you can always pull from. So being a creative is amassing these different projects that build your portfolio and just hoping one one day one of them sticks with somebody, and then it'll open the floodgates for the rest of them once people understand your voice and want to invest in your vision.
Right. That is absolutely true. Um, I got follow-up question is what's your genre of your next film project or your dream film project?
I love dark comedy. That's kind of where I like comedy with a little bit of edge to it.
Hmm.
I mean, like in some ways, tastes change over time as well. So, I feel like over time, maybe my sensibility has changed, but uh, horror is a genre that I always love, and I've always wanted to work on a
Horror
horror
movie.
film. So this the vertical that I was talking about is was based on a full length feature script that's a horror, and it's the third horror that I've written that I'm just kind of like sitting on. So horror is a great genre that I love as well.
And what is your dream horror film
That already exists or that I would make.
that you would
Because I
make?
mean,
Sorry.
like, that I would, because like, if I could get into a franchise that already exists, that would be awesome. I love Scream is a huge,
Hmm. Hmm.
a really fun, franchise. For myself though, I love found footage film, and just because it really attacks that primal fear that you have, what you can't see. And in a lot of found footage film, it is that real time POV. And what you can't see is sometimes the scariest than what you do see.
Hmm.
So found footage film like Paranormal Activity, Blair Witch Project, one of my favorites is As Above, So Below. There are so many great found footage films that inspire me. I do, even though it's not like artfully considered like the highest of arts, I do think there is value in not only horror but found footage film.
Hmm. Yeah, I love horror movie. What's your favorite horror movie out there, or that's been made or you've seen?
I mean, if we're gonna go with the found footage genre, just because we're talking about it, I would say Paranormal Activity 3 is one of my
Okay,
favorites. Um, but I also mentioned this already. Scream is one of my favorite
I love
horror
Scream.
movies for sure. Yeah,
It's
it's
very,
up there.
I love the story background of Scream. I mean, they're still doing it and they're still making it. And I think for me, I think I just saw, not, I shouldn't say I just saw, but it came out in the movie theater, is I Know What You Did Last Summer.
Hmm.
And I feel like there's going to be another one, but I don't know if you've seen it. I don't want to spoil anybody, but I love how. And this is what we go back into storytelling because they can continue the next generation to bring audience back. Scream. There's
Hmm.
I Know What You Did Last Summer. And I Know What You Did Last Summer and Scream, it seems like a horror movie. It is, but it's like not really because it's kind of like you kind of know what's happening, you kind of don't. So, but I do like it how they're continuing it and they're like making it continue on generations. Like that is what I consider those to like make, a medium horror film. Like it's nothing like to scare you, but it's like a medium horror film. And I think to me that's like I know to me that's like a tradition horror film. Like I Know We Did Last Summer or Scream. Or
Hmm.
another one we can mention is Halloween.
Yeah.
That's been going on generation. Halloween, it's kind of scary, but also the more you see it, you're like, okay, I kind of know what's happening. So those three, I mean, it's great that they are doing it. I give credit to those directors because they're continuing the story, and I'm glad they're doing it. And every time they do it, it's the similar of the original Scream or the original I Know You Did Last Summer and Halloween as well. And so I'm glad they're doing it because I mean that's Halloween. I could be wrong, but Halloween kind of started it. It's like okay, they can succeed with horror films.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, Halloween is probably one of the first slashers
Mhm.
out there. I'm trying to think, maybe Black Christmas might predate it,
Yeah,
but
I've seen Black Christmas and mm, not to get anybody wrong, it's okay, but it's not perfect. That sounds awful saying that, but it's there. And I agree with you. And I love action film too. So I
Mhm.
think my favorite action film is Tom Cruise, the Top Gun, or Mission Impossible.
Yeah.
That guy's amazing. James Bond, but uh, just a curiosity, I don't know if you have seen the Tom Cruise last mission, Mission Impossible. Do you believe that's his last one, or do you think there'll be another one?
I haven't seen it.
Okay, no spoil. I can't spoil.
I mean, if he says it's his last one, I think in spirit it probably will be his last one, but who's to say that he might not appear in a future Mission Impossible reboot and pass the torch, reprising his character, but not necessarily being the star of the
Right.
movie. So
And I
maybe.
do,
Who
I
knows?
do. It's possible. It's possible. It is so amazing that he can do his own stunts. I
Hmm.
mean, to me, I could never. I mean, well, I could, but again, like he can hold his breath like 7 minutes. I mean, that's crazy. Like I don't know. I'm just mind blown in my opinion because I don't know
Yeah.
if I've never met anyone that can hold a breath for 7 minutes. So.
Yeah, and in the first movie, I don't think he was expecting to do his own stunts. But then I think the first one that he did himself, where he was in person, was when the fish tank was breaking and he had to outrun the water. And he was like, I'm not a stunt double. Like this isn't my thing." But I guess apparently that doing that gag kind of
It gets you
inspired him to keep doing
yeah,
it.
100%. I totally agree with you. Um, I like his film Oblivion. Have you seen it?
No, no, I don't think I have. I mean, like I am a fan of Tom Cruise. I think maybe my favorite Tom Cruise. Well, I haven't my favorite one, which is like an outlier, but Vanilla Sky is a is
Okay.
a is a cool movie. I think for him as a performer, I know
Yeah.
that he gets a lot of acclaim for Magnolia, which I
Hmm.
still haven't seen, but yeah, I mean he's marketable. People like
Yeah,
watching him,
he
and
is.
he's like in Mission Impossible, he's really great to watch.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. What was the most pivoted moment in your career?
Uh, that's a great question. It could be moving to the States, or that's really the start of my career. Um, moving to LA is another kind of milestone in my career. Um, it's hard to pinpoint the one of the most like pivotal moments, but
Hmm.
those big tentpole moments kind of stand out. Maybe writing and producing my first play or writing, producing my first short film. Those are all very like big steps that you would take in your career. So yeah, it's stuff like that. It's so hard to pinpoint because you're just like you're just on to the next thing. As
Right.
soon as you accomplish something, you're just wondering about what's
Hmm.
next. So it's always kind of at the life of an artist to
Right.
constantly be
And I,
trying to do better.
right. I think, and you don't mind me saying this, I think your pivotal moment is going from New York to LA. That's a big difference, right?
Yeah.
Big decision to go from East Coast all the way to LA to continue your journey in the film industry. And it's powerful testimony about not giving up, keep the courage, keep going. And that to me is a powerful statement to any upcoming actors out there who want to be a director, producer, or a regular actor. They can, if they want to, they can do it too. And that's a testimony that you're telling everybody out there. So,
Yeah. Yeah, and like for anybody who is interested in pursuing it, like it's long time. It's a full commitment to not just the art, because the art, that's an easy commitment that you can make.
hmm,
Everybody has a commitment to art regardless of if they're, an artist or not. A lot of people are, I mean, you watch art all the time, you watch TV. So it's like whether or not you're interested in it, you are consuming it. The dedication is to the business side of it, and not just the business side of it, but also how you sustain yourself with with the peripheral, not just the stuff that you're passionate about,
right.
but finding ways to like build a business that's adjacent to your career. Having a production company and helping people with their projects um, helps me because I get to see, what other people are doing. But it's also a career in and of itself. So that's the big thing is finding a way to sustain the art with the business.
That's so true. Dedication is very, very important. If you could play any character in any film, what would it be?
Uh, hmm. Oh man. I mean, there's so many great, great roles out there. It's a tough question. I don't know. Maybe a character in a film that I wrote because I don't just want to be on screen, but I want to, be a creative as well. That being said, um, I think there are better writers than me out there. So maybe there's a role that I really resonate with that I would love to do. I mean, Hamlet, that's uh a legendary
Hmm.
character and role that have done well is a huge undertaking. That could be if I were to do one of the great roles, Hamlet is one that I've always wanted to do, but never had the opportunity.
Wow. I love Hamlet. It's a great film. Well, show and theater. I
Yeah,
think
yeah. I mean, there's so many versions of it out there too. I mean, like the Kenneth Branagh version is
yes.
the epitome of what of like a film version of Hamlet. But that's now like I don't know if that's probably like 25, 30 years old now. So I mean, there has to be like a new Hamlet to come and kind of introduce the
Hmm.
next generation to this story. Because other than the Ethan Hawke version from the early 2000s, which is now itself 20 years old or so. Um, I can't think of a modern Hamlet. So maybe it's due for a remake or, a feature film adaptation.
Right. I totally agree with you. You never know. Make I all the films out there and like the theater and I love theater. I've never seen theater in real life, correction, but I would love to because theater actors and who've done theater and who get to be on film, they tell me they like theater more. Some do, some say they don't, but some say because they learn. If you make a mistake being on stage, you continue because you can't say
Mhm.
cut you with the
Yeah.
audience live.
Yeah, no, that's absolutely true. I mean, I've been in that scenario where when I was younger, I was doing Merchant of Venice and I was playing Lorenzo and there's a couple monologues, but at one point I did a monologue from later in the show in an earlier scene, and I I had like a moment of oh no, what do I do? But it was it's a comedy and it's romance, so it's easy enough to kind of just like glaze over it, move on, and hopefully nobody will notice. But I mean, the terrifying part of that is that you just have to keep going.
Right.
Yeah.
100%. Um, just, I can't think of his name, the Harry Potter actor that just got on stage to do some Harry Potter role.
Yeah, who plays Draco? Tom
Yes,
Felton.
I saw him. He did amazing. He did.
Really?
I mean, I saw previews of it on
Mm.
his Instagram, and that to me, the audience was so happy for him to be back, and and it brought him tears. But it just tells you that, like I said, the character doesn't die. The fans will love you, and that is what storytelling is about. You make
Mhm.
films, you do your job, the audience will love you, and it's absolutely amazing and powerful. I gotta say that.
Yeah, I mean, that seemed like a really cool full circle moment for him to reprise that role and to get such a warm reception from the audience. And now I think he's in New York doing that show. So I mean, it's it's quite a journey for him because I mean, I'm sure at the beginning of his career, people can separate him from the character, but when you're playing a
Right.
villain, sometimes uh, people don't treat you the same way that they will a hero, the person that plays a hero when you meet them in public. But I feel like now him reprising that role, it really is a hero's welcome for him.
Yes, 100%. I just had to mention that because we talked about theater there, but and it's absolutely amazing because, like you said, everybody else who's done theater, you experience the live audience, and you make a mistake, you continue on, and I think a lot of beginner actors, it's for me to say it's a must do theater, so you can learn. It's okay you make a mistake, you continue on and figure out the roles, and you kind of make them a different line in your brain because if you make a mistake and you continue, and all the cast members will follow along, and everybody in the audience were like, oh, that's part of the script, which when you realize when the curtain comes down, you're like, oh, it wasn't part of the script, but we did it.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, theater really does instill some of the foundations
Hmm.
of performance in you. So even like, yeah, I recommend starting in theater, but it's always great to go back to it just because it instills those the foundation of acting.
Right. 100%. I totally agree with you. Um, so, what's your best advice for any upcoming actors who want to get in the film industry?
Hmm. Um, I mean, it's I brushed on this a little bit before, but it's a long haul. I mean, there is no overnight success. Even people who get success when they're very young have been doing it since they were toddlers or since they were babies. So it's very rare to have an overnight success if you get any success at all. So I think you have to be prepared for the hard road ahead. Um, that's that's the that really is one of the big things. And
Hmm.
I mean, people say it all the time whenever they like it's generally this a variation of this answer that you get when you ask somebody about it. But and I've heard it a million times myself. But you don't really truly understand it until you've been in the industry for over a decade and you realize like it really is that long haul that you just have to, there's tiny steps that you make each year, and you're a lot further than you were when you started, but it doesn't feel that way because it takes so long.
That's so true. And don't give up. Keep going. Keep the passion. And that's absolutely right. Being in the film industry is you have to have a thick skin.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I mean, you have a thick skin. You work with people that you like to work with too.
Hmm.
So I mean, like, yes, you need a thick skin, but I think you find the people that you want to work with
Right.
as well. You don't
100%.
have to work with the people who are abusive. It used to be a way in the film industry where you just had to take it. But I think that's kind of changed. There's still an element of that because there's always somebody in charge that you have to that you know ha- has to approve of what you're doing. But I think now people in Hollywood, people in the world in general, want to work with people who are easy to work with, easy to get along with. And if you ever meet, producers or casting directors, they're not just looking for somebody who is talented, who can do the role.
Hmm.
They're looking for somebody that they can send to set and they know that they're not going to piss off the whole team around them. They want somebody who can be a team player and still, service the role.
That's so true. 100%. That and be a team player and get along with your cast members, and be a family. That's what it's all about.
Yeah.
100%. So where can people find you on social media?
I'm on Instagram. I'm on X at Tyler Ham Pong. Also on TikTok. Other than that, you can go to tylerhampong.com. There's more stuff there. You can see my past projects and also my YouTube, Tyler Hampong.
Well, that's amazing. Thank you again for coming on.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for inviting me. It was fun chatting.
Yes, and I will always look forward to speaking with you again soon.
Yeah, for sure, anytime.
Yeah, well, definitely. I would definitely love to have you back on and have you talk about your next film project or any project that you have done in the past or any upcoming now. I would love to have you come back and talk about it.
Nice. Sounds good.
All right. Thank you again, Tyler, and I look forward to speaking with you again soon.
All right. Take care.
Have a good one. Bye-bye.
Bye.